to the show this week because, we had some issues this week. Uh, some folks are, not all that happy with, of course, they're not happy with Trump, but they're not happy with our historically black colleges and universities, otherwise known as HBCUs. The president's going there and meeting with them. And yeah, I believe it was the president of Dillard said, we wasted our time. He just dragged us up there for a photo op. Gentlemen, did y'all been following that story?
Yeah, I follow a little of the story, what was going on, and I mean my thoughts. Yeah, it was a photo op. That's what Trump is known from, especially with the black community. But he does photo, even with this side, he does photo ops. But I think they almost had no choice because
Mm-hmm.
HBCUs they don't get as much funding from the same white college or university, same like kind of quality. They don't get the same amount of funding, and plus Trump is doing some radical things right now in the United States. So just him, just him knocking down they funded 20% or 30%, that can put a damper on a lot
Oh
of
my God.
students in a lot of universities. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah,
So they pretty much had no choice. When I
yeah.
heard
I
it,
think.
oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think the same thing. I think when the president calls, regardless of how you feel about that president, and black folks are still in their feelings about Trump. It's even though it's now, like I said, March 4th. They still they still feeling up some kind of way about something that was decided way back in November. Um, but I think when the president calls, you gotta answer the phone. Personally, that's my feeling. And I think that they certainly uh, had to, like you said, because of the funding issue. I think they had to go there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I pretty much agree too. Especially if that's how they get most of their money to be able to, I guess, keep up the school or whatever. And also I read that that Pell and stuff was down. It got cut, so they was losing revenue with people going to their school anyway. So I guess it was like Chicago said, it was no choice for them to
Mhm.
go.
And Chicago, you went to a HBCU, right? You said.
Yep, Alabama A&M. So yes, I went to HBCU.
Hmm. And what was that? What was that experience like? And would you fault the president of Alabama for having gone and talked and speaking with Trump?
What's the experience like going to a HBCU or that particular HBCU?
That particular one. And would you fault the president of your alma mater if he went to meet with Trump? Would you be upset with him if he did that?
No, I wouldn't be upset if he did that because the time when I'm pretty sure now Alabama A&M they need to keep all the funding that they have, and they actually need more funding, from the government. My experience with Alabama A&M, it's experience. That's all I can say. It's experience
Hmm.
that I think going to HBCU is totally different than going to a majority white university.
Right.
It's smaller classroom sizes. You tend to be it's usually tend to be a smaller university, so you know more people on campus, and the people are it's more of a family setting.
Hmm.
But at the same time, those same amenities at my particular university, the same amenities that traditionally or majority white schools get, we don't get those same amenities at all. I'm talking about
Right.
down to the cafeteria food, the choices, the bookstore, the amenities that
Hmm.
we have on campus. It's nowhere near because my freshman year, second semester, they closed down the library. I don't know why. They closed down the library for they was doing some renovation. That was kind of strange in the middle of the school year. But anyway, so I had to go. I had to find the white university, which is University of I think University of Birmingham in Huntsville, UAH. That's what they
Mm-hmm.
call it. So I went to that school, and that was my first time because I went on college tour. I went to all HBCUs,
Right.
and I never went into a white university like that. Not a university, so maybe like a college, like a local college. But I never went to a white university, and I went. And I was just amazed, like the facilities, the dorms, like what's going on, like. You guys have real food here? Like this is crazy. Like I was really intrigued by it. And I was just like, what the world's the difference? But then I did my research. You know, they get millions and millions and millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, thrown at them. You know,
Right.
every year while we settle for a few $1,000,000. You know what I'm saying? Maybe.
Why, do you think we settle for it? Or is
Well,
that just
we're
something that
giving
we get?
we're
Yeah.
giving a few $100 million in between several schools when one of their schools, like University of Alabama, is a big organization. I'm pretty sure they get somewhat close to the millions or hundreds of millions for one school, while we're
Right.
taking hundreds of millions and we had to divide that up between several different universities.
Right.
But HBCU, it's I've known a lot of people. I know people who went to Morehouse. I know people who went to Spelman. I know people who went to what's the one in Virginia? I forget. Forget the name. The one in Virginia. But it's a small university as well, and it's a private university. They have different experience, and some of those people are lawyers, some of those people are teachers, some of those people are doctors, and they always say going to a HBCU as a black person for undergrad was the best thing they could have done. You know,
Right.
and then they went to get their masters and their doctorate at majority white universities, but going to the HBCUs give you that confidence that going to a big white university, you don't have that one-on-one time. You know, the professor will
Right.
never call you by your last name. You know, if they don't see you like that. You know,
Right.
so it's a good experience. I think.
Well, I know when it came time for my college choice, even though I always loved A Different World, and the whole concept of even though it was a fictional um, HBCU, it was going back to the differences when I looked at what was available locally. Uh, th- Sadly, the concept of going to a HBCU to pursue a degree in journalism just never, especially photojournalism, just never entered my mind, because none of them, they weren't, you don't hear about that sort of thing
Right.
from them. You hear about the big schools, Columbia School of Journalism. You hear about the predominantly white universities who do that sort of thing. And you don't hear about an HBCU. Looking back at it, man, I wish I would have gone anyway, and figured out a way to make it work. But at the time, without anyone else around me who had experience in HBCU, there was no one to advocate for that besides the TV
Right.
with Different World. But that was TV.
Right.
So I didn't know anybody personally who had gone to a HBCU.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Oh,
Me either. I mean, I wish that I would have been focused enough to, I guess, realize what I needed to do and go to one, because now it's basically a white school. When you go in, they got historical photos, but it's not people that look like you. You see older pictures of white people, and you know what was going on at that time. And then it's like the way the pictures look at, like they staring at you. Like, I mean, it's just a whole different experience that I wish that I would have had to focus and just went to one. Because I know
Hmm.
my son, what I'm doing with my son, if he decides he wants to go to college or whatever, I'm gonna try to push him to go to a HBCU, because like everybody, I don't think everybody should go to college. It just depends on what you want to do. You want to get a trade, or maybe
Right.
whatever you want to do. Everybody ain't fit for college or whatever. That's
Right.
what
Right.
yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, that was my thoughts on it, and I wish that I would have been able to have been able to experience a HBCU, because
Hmm.
it's different, I guess.